What's the hidden cost when stress becomes the leadership style? Some leaders know at some level that their mood affects the room. What they significantly underestimate is the precision and speed with which the team reads that mood, and how much the team's behavior, communication, and decision-making reorganizes itself around it. This is not a peripheral leadership issue. It's a central one, and it plays out most destructively in the moments that matter most. The moments under pressure are when the human nervous system does predictable things. Thinking narrows, patience shortens, tone sharpens, and what comes out of your mouth and how it comes out reflects the state of your nervous system as much as your considered judgment. This would be a manageable problem if it was a personal experience, if it stayed personal, but often it doesn't. Your team is watching, not deliberately, but instinctively, because they sense the energy. Because human beings are wired to read the emotional state of the most powerful person in the room. It's not weakness or sensitivity, it's biology. It happens whether you like it or not. And here's where it becomes a leadership problem. The team doesn't just notice your state, they adapt to it. They make decisions not about the work, but about how to manage the experience of being around you when the pressure is on. So they start to think, is now a good time to raise this? Will bringing this problem make the situation worse? Should I push back on the decision? Is it better to let it go and just deal with the consequences later? And how much of what I actually think should I share right now? The answers to those questions shift dramatically based on what they're guessing about your state and based on what your PA told them about you this morning. And in stressful moments, the answers tend to cluster around the same conclusion. Hold back, simplify, don't add to the load, protect yourself. Which means that you, in the exact moment when you most need accurate information, complete pictures, and honest challenge, are receiving a carefully edited version of reality. Not because your team is being dishonest, but because the environment you're creating makes full honesty feel unsafe or futile. The team's not running the business, they are managing you, and so you are making decisions based on incomplete information and wondering why the outcomes keep falling short. For many leaders, this pattern was never examined or named, it was inherited. The leader who shaped you probably led the same way under pressure. The environment tightened, the tone sharpened, and the implicit message was that when things are hard, you keep your head down and you keep up. That was the old paradigm model, and it produced results, at least in the short term. So it got stored as how leadership under pressure works. What it actually produced in many cases was compliance and a team that learned to hide problems rather than solve them. The costs were real, but they were just deferred and made to look like other issues. What needs to happen here is not about suppressing your stress response or pretending to be calm when you're not. It's about developing enough self-awareness and self-mastery to recognize when your nervous system is leading you instead of you leading, and enough skill to regulate it before it starts to set the tone for the room. That regulation doesn't need you to be perfect. It needs you just to pause. A moment between stimulus and response that creates just enough space to choose how you show up, rather than simply reacting to how you feel. When you develop this, you start to get exactly what you need. Your team starts bringing you the problems earlier because the risk of doing so feels lower. Honest information reaches you faster because it's no longer punished. The environment no longer punishes it. And the quality of decision-making improves because the leader is working with a fuller picture. None of that requires you to be superhuman. It requires you to understand that your internal state is always, whether you intend it or not, a leadership communication. Think about your last genuinely high pressure period. How did your team's communication change? What did people stop telling you or start packaging more carefully? What decisions got made on information that was less complete than it should have been? Now think about what it would mean for your business if your team felt as safe bringing you problems at your worst moments as at your best. Do you lead the way you were led? If that answer is sitting uncomfortably, that's exactly where the work starts. What does your team do differently when you're under pressure? And how do you actually know? What are people not telling you right now because of how you seem when things are hard? What's the cost to your business decisions if they're made on carefully edited information? And what would it take for your team to feel safe bringing you the full picture even on your worst day? If these questions make you want to improve your leadership, contact me. I'm sure we can have a great conversation.